The Kryn were not a species that understood sacrifice. Evangeline had learned this within her first week aboard the warship Fang of Stars. The wolf-like aliens operated on a strict hierarchy: strength determined rank, and rank determined survival. The weak were left behind. The strong led the pack. It was simple, brutal, and absolute. She was human. She didn't belong here, but the Galactic Council had insisted on cultural exchange programs after humanity's recent admission to the interstellar community. So, Evangeline, a xenobiologist with more curiosity than common sense, had volunteered. She wanted to understand the Kryn. She wanted to bridge the gap between their species. What she got instead was isolation, suspicious growls, and the constant weight of being watched by predatory eyes. The Kryn crew tolerated her presence the way one might tolerate a parasite necessary for political reasons, but ultimately disposable. She worked in the medical bay, studying their physiology, treating minor injuries, and staying out of the way during combat drills. Then came the day everything changed. The distress signal originated from a mining colony on Thaddeus, a barren moon rich in gravitational crystals. Pyretza, mixed crew of Vareth marauders, had attacked, and the Fang of Stars was the nearest response vessel. Evangeline watched from the medical bay monitors as the Kryn warriors prepared for deployment. Their armor gleamed like polished obsidian, and their weapons hummed with lethal energy. Captain Vorath, a massive gray-furred male with scars crisscrossing his muzzle, barked orders in the guttural Kryn language. She wasn't expected to join the ground team. Humans were fragile. Humans were weak. But when the transport ships returned, carrying wounded Kryn and 3 terrified Cubzung ones barely past weaning, instincts overrode protocol. The cubs had been separated from their parents during the attack. They huddled together in the corner of the medical bay, whimpering, their fur matted with dust and fearsome. The adult Kryn warriors ignored them, focused on their own injuries and tactical debriefings. They didn't understand her words, but they understood her tone. Slowly, cautiously, the smallest one, a runt with golden eyes, crept forward and pressed against her leg. That's when the alarms screamed. Secondary breach. Pirates in Sector 4. The Vareth had tracked them. A small strike team had attached to the hull during the rescue operation, cutting through the outer plating like predators stalking wounded prey. The medical bay doors hissed open. 3 Vareth raiders stormed in reptilian, quick, armed with plasma cutters and neural disruptors. The Kryn warriors were 2 corridors away. Evangeline's heart hammered. The cubs behind her whimpered louder. She didn't think. She moved, grabbing a surgical laser from the nearby tray. She positioned herself between the raiders and the cubs. The Vareth leaderess, scarred female with cracked scales laughed, a sound like breaking glass. Human, the raider hissed in broken galactic standard. Move, cubs valuable. You, ... Not over my dead body, Evangeline said, her voice steadier than her hands. The raider's laugh died. Acceptable. The neural disruptor fired. Pain erupted through Evangeline's nervous system, white-hot. Her muscles seized. She collapsed, but even as her vision blurred, she saw Bruno. Bruno, the junior Kryn scout she'd treated weeks ago for a broken rib. Bruno, who'd actually thanked her in halting galactic standard. Bruno, who'd been dismissed by the senior warriors as too soft, too curious about the strange human. He burst through the doorway with a roar that shook the walls. The Varith turned, surprised. In that heartbeat of hesitation, Bruno struck. His claws tore through armor. His jaws found throats. The other Kryn warriors flooded in behind him, and the fight was over in seconds. Evangeline's last conscious thought, as darkness claimed her, was the sensation of small bodice, the cubs pressed protectively against her. Fallen form, closer to Earth, and stationed at her bedside, standing at rigid attention, was Bruno. "You're awake," he said, his translator rendering his growling speech into flat, emotionless galactic standard. But his tail that gave him away. It wagged just slightly. The cubs. Evangeline's throat was raw, safe, healthy, asking for you. She tried to sit up. Bruno's paw massive, clawed gentle pressed against her shoulder. "You need rest. Captain's orders. Captain's ... orders." Bruno's ears flicked forward, the Kryn equivalent of a smile. "You've been promoted, Pack Mother. Second rank, just below Captain Vorath." Evangeline stared. I didn't. I'm not even Kryn." "You protected the cubs," Bruno said simply. "You stood between them and death. You collapsed, defending them. That is the first law of the pack. The strong protect the young. Rank is not given for species. Rank is given for action." The door opened. Captain Vorath entered, his massive frame filling the doorway. Behind him, the three cubs tumbled in, yipping excitedly. The smallest one, the runt with golden eyes, leaped onto Evangeline's bed, nuzzling against her face. Vorath's scarred muzzle dipped in a formal bow. "Pack Mother," he rumbled. "The pack accepts you. The pack honors you." Evangeline looked at Bruno, bewildered. He leaned closer, his voice dropping to a whisper only she could hear. "We don't understand sacrifice," he said. "We never did. But you showed us, and now, maybe we're learning." 3 months later, when the Fang of Stars returned to the Kryn homeworld, Evangeline walked down the ramp with the 3 cubs at her heels and Bruno at her side. The assembled Kryn warriors, hundreds of them pressed their clawed fists to their chests in salute. Human who wasn't supposed to belong had taught the pack a new kind of strength, and they would never forget it.